Hey guys, the Skull Seeker here. I would like to start off this video by saying that the Mosasaurus skull I wanted to buy is no longer available. So basically that means I get to put all the money that was going towards that into other things. So let's just say there are a whole lot of skulls upcoming soon. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for all those. But for this video, we're going to get started with this. So you may know what this is if you are into reptiles or snakes or stuff like that. So this is a Gaboon Viper skull, which it will also say in the title, of course. So the thing about these is that all the replicas that are sold online are like $200 to like $300 approximately in that price range. I think they're most like $227 for most sites, and they are approximately 3.5 inches long, and they might have like, I don't know, like 3/4 of an inch long fangs. So these are like tiny skulls. You got to keep that in mind. Like, sure, 3.5 inches is big for a snake skull, but at the same time, Gaboon Vipers get much, much larger. So in the description for Bone Clones and Skulls Unlimited, even though both of their skulls are 3.5 inches, they both mention on their site that the head of the Gaboon Viper gets 7 inches long and has 2-inch fangs. Now, a lot of people know the fact that, yes, it has 2-inch fangs because that's what it's famous for. The Gaboon Viper has the biggest fangs of any snake in the world, so it's famous for its humongous teeth. So that's the thing. However, these replicas that are being sold only have like 3/4 of an inch long fangs. So that's kind of disappointing. So what I did here was, this was a free STL file online, and I printed it out in resin. So we have a actual life-size Gaboon Viper. I have seen real Gaboon Viper skulls for sale also, and they are also only around 3 to 4 inches long every time. However, this is what we get if we take a full-size 7-inch Gaboon Viper skull. So this is the result. Now, I don't know how it looks to you guys on here on the screen, whether it looks like it's small or big, or just proportionate what you guys think it looks like. I mean, yes, I just told you it's 7 inches approximately. So let's just, like, for comparison, here's my hand. Now my hand is 7.5 inches, although it's behind it, so it's not going to look the same. If I put it in front, it's different. But anyway, so this is a very high quality replica, 3D printed in resin. And so we're going to take a look at the features here. And so this is really cool. So this is my first like in-depth look at a snake skull, and it's easy to show off based on the fact that it is so big. So like with my garter snake skull, I can't do anything with that for a cool video. And the cobra and rattlesnake are still pretty cool, but once again, they're only about like 1.5 inches long, so they're not like big enough to really show off some of the features here. So anyway, we're gonna start taking a look at this now. So, okay. So here we have the snake skull. We have some vertebrae here. So we have like 3 vertebrae here. And then we have the eye holes go here, which, yeah, that's like the size of my thumb. So that's just crazy. My thumb fits perfectly right there. And then, yes, the first thing you notice is the fangs. So we have these huge 2-inch fangs here. You look in the front, here's a groove. So the venom goes through here. The venom glands are stored right here, which is why the head is triangular in vipers, because they have huge venom glands right here on the skull. In the front, we have the nostrils, which you can see all the way through there. So just hollow hole all the way through. So we got this big area for sensory here. We got the venom glands, sight. You can see kind of forward and to the side at the same time. You can see it's overlapping field of vision. You can see forward as well as side view, which is cool. So it has like an intermediate between binocular and monocular vision. So we have the lower jaw, which is attached because it was the same file. So the lower jaw here attached onto the upper jaw and the rest of the skull. We can take a look here. The teeth. So here are some very large teeth. So these are around like 3/4 of a centimeter long. So these really big teeth on the upper jaw. And of course, these are on the inside. You can see how they like kind of line up with the bottom jaw kind of. A lot of constrictors and stuff like that, those snakes have multiple rows of teeth. So they'll have some out here, some here, sometimes even farther in. So they'll have like 2 to 3 rows of teeth on constrictors, depending on the species. These guys don't have that. Venomous snakes often don't have as many teeth, but they do have the big fangs for delivering venom. But the constrictors and non-venomous snakes mostly use their teeth for holding on to prey. A lot of them eat fish, so basically that just prevents them from escaping. It just holds on to them really well. You've probably seen videos of snakes eating catfish, or just all sorts of water snakes catching things. There's some fish that eat only catfish. A lot of North American water snakes eat tons of fish. So, and I've actually witnessed that in person. It's pretty interesting. I got a video of it eating one. This is a northern water snake. Anyway, so the bottom jaw, we have these smaller teeth. Now this tooth right here, it's going to be hard to look at because of the angle. Okay, here, this tooth, this is like the sharpest, like this is so sharp, like that actually hurts. Like it's, like if I just like cut myself, like I could easily just cut myself and bleed on that. Same with these. These are incredibly sharp. Like they look sharp. They're very sharp. I can't hold the skull very well. I have to hold it upside down like this when carrying it, because if I hold it by the teeth or the bottom jaw, it's just so spiky. The fangs themselves aren't very spiky. They're kind of dulled out. So they're just not quite as big. The main thing to notice with the bottom jaw, however, so if you know anything about snakes, you know that their bottom jaw is not connected here, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to open, like it's called unhinging their jaw. Like, I mean, that's not what it actually is, but like that's what people refer to it as. They wouldn't be able to unhinge their jaw if their bottom jaw was connected. So that's how it works. Like this would be split right here so that the jaw can span out sideways to eat things bigger than their skull. However, something this big, this Gaboon Viper, is not likely to eat anything bigger than its skull. It's going to be eating rats and stuff that are about the size of its skull. So it's not going to need to do too much expanding with its mouth, because it eats like relatively small prey. And it's not big enough as an adult to go after deer or anything like anacondas. So even though its head is this big, it has a relatively small body, like up to 6 feet long. So huge head, but small body. So that's very interesting too. Yeah, their skeletons are kind of crazy. I mean, even just looking at images of them are crazy because they're just so short and fat. Like, it is crazy, but they blend in so well. But yeah, so basically in this model, it's fused here. If I wanted to, I could cut it with something, but I don't think that's necessary. Plus, there's more stability this way. But in reality, it would be out like this for the bottom jaw. They'd be like out here instead of being connected. Another feature from the bottom, you can see these kind of pits here. So this is where the Jacobson's organ would be, is in this spot right here. So I hope you guys can see what I'm pointing to here. But anyway, Jacobson's organ goes right here. That's to help with sensory. So whenever their tongue goes out of the mouth and then goes back in, it hits the roof of the mouth and touches the Jacobson's organ. And then that basically gives the snake information about what it just smelled using its tongue. So it's very cool how that works. It's just basically an extra organ. And yeah, snakes and lizards and several other animals have it, so it's pretty cool. Very interesting. Then we have these gaps here. So it's like this row of teeth is basically has this gap. So this is interesting. Also, it's basically like, it's so cool how this is, because yeah, we have Jacobson's organ here, but then we have all this hollow space here too. So that would be where the tongue comes in and hits the roof of the mouth and then slides back to the Jacobson's organ. But we have all this cavity up here that, yeah, this is the nasal cavity. So it has a massive smelling, like its organs for smelling are super enhanced. Most snakes are this way, where like you look at the front of their skull and they're all like this. They have this massive nasal cavity. And then, yeah, the eye cavity and the teeth. The bottom jaw is fairly simple. It's actually like extremely simple, other than how it's like split normally on a snake, on a real one. But this is higher quality than you're going to get with any of the other resin models, which is just crazy. Plus the size is unbelievable. Because yeah, I'm like, why would I want to buy for $227 a 3.5-inch skull when I can 3D print this at 7 inches? And this was 100% free. I should mention that my school does 3D printing and it is free. I didn't have to pay anything for this whatsoever. So basically I just got a 100% free 7-inch Gaboon Viper skull, whereas online, you have to spend like 227 or more to get a skull half this size. So that's just crazy. And it's the same quality. It's really good quality. But yeah, you can see the grooves here for the venom. And then like it goes down the fang and then out the tip. Pretty interesting. But yeah, you can see, yeah, massive fangs on this guy. And the model warped a tiny bit because the mouth was supposed to be open a little bit more. Because the fangs kind of curve in with bottom jaw. You can stretch it a little bit. But anyway, it was supposed to be a little bit wider than that. But it goes here. Is a little bit to do with the curing process of the resin. But anyway, it's a really nice model. Here's the top view. It's really interesting how snake skulls look. They're very unique. Bottom view and the front view, kind of this angle, this angle. So yeah, it's a very awesome skull, probably my new favorite. So it's pretty epic. My old favorite was the African sharp-tooth catfish because that thing was very interesting, very massive, pretty unique actually. So I thought that was pretty cool to obtain that one, because that one was technically a mistake too. I was supposed to get a I think it was like 5-inch skull, and it got lost, so they shipped me the only other one they had, which was 10 inches, and I paid $50 for that one. So I got a 10-inch African sharp-tooth catfish skull for $50, and that was a really good deal, and it was real. So it was a really good deal. There's a lot of these I get good deals on, especially back in the day. I don't know, just like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know, it could be more than that, maybe 6. Anyway, when I first started buying skulls, I was able to get a lot of them for like 10 to 20 bucks. Like, you know, I got an otter skull for probably like 20 bucks, and it's perfect condition, has all the teeth, no damage whatsoever. Nowadays they're like 40 to 60. Unfortunately, the two main North American species that like are so common that I don't have is the bobcat and the American badger, which is just crazy to think about, because like I have pretty much all the other species that you'd commonly expect to find in a collection, but not those two. They are slightly more expensive than all the ones I've purchased, because I got like a raccoon skull for like 10 bucks, skunk skull 10 bucks, porcupine skull 10 bucks, all perfect condition, and anyway, stuff like that. And bobcat is like 50 to 70, sometimes higher. Badger is like 45 was the lowest I've ever seen. That one sold up to like 100 maybe, but there's obviously things that are higher than that, and ones that are lower quality that are cheaper. But anyway, so I need to get on that and get those, but I'm starting to taking a liking into fish skulls more, so I'm seeing what I can do with that. I'm going to spoil what I bought. My birthday's coming up on the 15th of April, and I bought a gar skull. So it's a Florida gar. So it is a one of the medium-sized gars. It's not too big as maximum size. The skull itself is 6.5 inches, so that was a really good deal. And so that one will get here, I think, in just a few days. Like, I think the minimum is like 5, and the maximum was like 7 or something. It should be here fast. Hopefully it gets here that fast. But yeah, that would be really cool to get that gar skull and get a video out. And then I have more 3D prints coming. I have also in resin a Savannah monitor skull that's around 4 inches. I think it's a little bit bigger. And then I have a worm lizard skull that is actual, like they're both actual size. Worm lizard skull actual size at approximately 13 millimeters, so a little over a centimeter. And assuming it prints properly, being that small, that'll be really cool to look at. And the jaws, like the top and bottom jaw, will be separate pieces. So it will actually be able to, like, I can actually take it apart and look at it, and just like most of my other skulls. So that's cool. Savannah monitor may or may not be 2 pieces. The file, I think, was like it prints all together, but there's just like a minuscule gap in between the top and bottom jaw that means it might not actually be attached, which if so, like if it's not attached, that would be pretty cool because I can actually move it up and down. But if it is attached, to the top jaw. It doesn't matter because the jaw's gaped open wide enough that you can actually see all the teeth and everything. So it's a really good file. So anyway, yeah, I've been getting into this more with the 3D printing. I have some possum skulls and a subadult mountain lion skull that were printed. I'll do videos once I get those here to college. I need to paint them white because they're like a grayish color now, just the raw resin. So I need to paint them white. And this color is nice on this one because this is like real bone color. It's not like too white, like just painting a skull, and it's not like too like fake looking, like it looks like real bone. I can show you an example here. I have my dolphin skull still with me at college. That one was a plastic print and it was painted white with primer over it, so I'll show you that. So here's the difference. I need to set this down and move out of the way because of my shadow. But anyway, it's a difference. That's the back of the skull here. I feel like, yeah, this is too white. I painted some of my skulls white because I don't know. I need to kind of repaint them with like a mix of like white and yellow to make it more accurate colored. Anyway, here's the dolphin skull. This one, like I say, so this one is plastic printed. You can see the layers here. It's not as efficient as doing the resin, like the teeth and the roof of the mouth here. Yeah, you can see all the layers on it, which it's a really good print and everything, but like that's why I prefer resin. But yeah, this skull is still really awesome. Like, I still love it. It's just, yeah, the resin works out much better. It's like you know, you put it close and it's like you have to look at the right angle to see it. Like if I, like even here, you can kind of see texture, but that's not the layers you're seeing. That's just texture. The layers are nearly impossible to actually get a look at. I think you can kind of see them on here if I angle this right, but it is just so impossible to actually like see the layers on this resin print. It's like, it's so hard, but they're there. It's, yeah, there we go. You can see them here at this angle. They're still there, but they're like not even noticeable. Like, it's crazy, but yeah, you can see those here, those layers, but at the right angle, they vanish. And I need to sand this a little bit here. But anyway. So, I mean, that's, yeah, difference between the resin and plastic. Resin obviously prints much better, as you can see here. The plastic, yeah, it's a little bit different. It's still good. At least most of the printers are. There's some that don't print too well. But yeah, this dolphin skull is still really high quality. But there's a different feel to it too. This one really feels like bone. This one's kind of like just paint, because that's what's on the top of the plastic is just primer. But anyway, it's, yeah, they're both replicas of real skulls though. This one's a juvenile short-beaked common dolphin. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you look forward to the upcoming videos, because I certainly look forward to making them. And they should be out definitely within the next month. It's going to take time for things to get shipped here. But anyway, yeah, I look forward to making those for you guys, and I hope you'll enjoy them, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So with that, I'll see you later. Don't forget to subscribe, and peace out.